Hey, Scott here. This is it. They're going to reveal really bad game. I can't wait to see it. Maybe it'll be good. But first, they have to show off the game. Technical difficulties, please wait. And then after that, they're going to reveal the game. There is a fire backstage. Please exit immediately. I really hope that's a working title. Oh my god, it's happening. The big event! The moment we've all been waiting for. A corporation in a suit's gonna tell me about hundreds, hell, maybe even thousands of new video games coming soon on stage with a huge audience cheering them on. It's gonna be a barrage of new content in an industry I love. This is gonna be the greatest.
A jump of 41%. And yes, that is good for second place. So when you run the software equation, you get
What the f is a 41%? This is a press conference, and this is a video game press conference. You see, to most companies or people, press conferences revolve around the person or people of interest appearing in front of us all. They're real? And you see, they're called press conferences because they're addressing the press here, answering questions, making statements, maybe announcing some things, but overall, if you end up getting disappointed after one of these, I don't know what you were expecting putting these two words together. But for some reason, when it comes to gaming press conferences, the bar is immediately raised. They're not just some sap answering questions. We open up with an explosion. Some guy comes out on stage yelling, "F you, here's Wario." Celebrity guest appearances, on-stage live demonstrations, trailer after trailer for games we can't wait to play. All in front of a live audience while simultaneously being broadcast around the world. Why are games the only things that get this? I mean, you don't see Scholastic holding a press conference. Video games getting announced have been made a big enough deal to warrant tents being set up for them. Tents! It brings me so much joy to see gaming events be so prestigious looking. See, a lot of things with video games are generally labeled as not important in comparison to other media. Oh, video game awards, who cares? The Oscars are on tonight. I'm gonna be busy not caring about that either. But gaming has the art of the announcement on its side. You don't generally see movie studios do live streams announcing a huge slate of films. You don't see events this elaborate for TV outside of award shows. To many people, video games may not have as much elegance or as much of a feeling of importance as film or television, but I ask those people to watch a gaming press conference. And they still didn't get it. These things happen multiple times a year when companies get some time to shine and flaunt their new goodies, whether it's digital only or in person. You can't deny the impact of one. To people like me. Listen, no matter how good or bad a press conference ends up being, will it really affect public perception or sales? See, we may look like real people, but on the inside, all we care about is if that Xbox presentation was good or not. When you care that much about this kind of stuff, it can be hard to realize that in the outside world, it's common decency to not watch gaming press conferences. They're mostly the kind of thing only a true video game fan cares about. If you try starting a conversation with people about that one time Pac-Man Vs. got revealed at E3 2003, you're gonna be struggling. Prove it. Most people who enjoy games, all they care about is how the game looks, if it's out, how much it costs, and if they should buy it or not. At the very most, they'll watch some trailers and reviews. Real people think the concept of watching a press conference about video games is ridiculous. I remember watching the Nintendo E3 2010 press conference. My mother walked in, asked what I was watching, I explained, and she responded with, "Why?" After trying to explain myself, I gave up and just said, I don't know. That doesn't mean the impact of a press conference never leaks out into the public's opinion. Sometimes they can be so good or so bad that, yeah, word will spread around, but most of the time... What do you think of EA's press conference in 2018? What the... It's hard to explain what makes them so engaging and fun and exciting to watch to the outsiders. I mean, probably 25% of the runtime of these things are taken up by the presenters breathing through their mouths. But that doesn't mean I won't try to prove their worth. See, every single one of these events follow the same general formula. It's gotta be easy to understand their appeal. And to do that, we can go all the way back to when gaming press conferences were just press conferences. When these things were truly only meant to be viewed by the press, when they were focused on sales numbers and just being the absolute worst.
Into 16-bit video games, when the industry seems intent on moving onward.
These press conferences could be absolutely brutal. They were actual press conferences. You may get a peek at the future if you were good enough, but it was basically all just business talk. Sometimes they would spice things up just to get the press on their side, but most of the time, I'm sure most people were excited just to see a new color on screen. I can't really blame companies for being so boring back then. I mean, these were presentations created specifically for investors, business partners, news outlets. The general consumer was never supposed to, dear God, see this. Thankfully, I was in fetus mode when these conferences happened, so I don't have the experiences of being at one to think about on my deathbed. But everything was about to change. A little expo called E3 started in 1995, focused on bringing together the biggest video game manufacturers around the world to showcase the latest and greatest. Of course, most of the big boys had press conferences. They stunk. But then there was Sony, who was about to launch their first ever video game console, the PlayStation. Sega left their barn door open and revealed their next console, the Sega Saturn's price point of $399, so Sony retaliated on stage at E3 1995.
$299.
This was the birth of the modern press conference. It may not seem like much, but that reveal of the PS1's price, very obviously rubbing it in Sega's face, got everybody's attention. From that point forward, everybody wanted to one-up each other, not only in terms of graphics and gameplay with the games themselves, but the way they presented this stuff to the people. And because of that, the people wanted to watch, and these events became publicly viewable via television, online video, and live streams. Press conferences became so much more than press conferences. They were more than just reading a business dictionary in front of an audience. They became about confidence, memorability, self-awareness. You needed to take what the other companies were doing and be better than them in every single way. Gaming press conference events and expos became boxing rings, and ever since, each one invoked a sense of Sony! Watching a giant event that's all about celebrating video games to the point of putting them up on a jumbo screen in front of a totally not paid for audience really makes you feel like, wow, video games aren't a lousy waste of time after all. Couple that with brand new games we've never seen before, new information on previously revealed titles, and impending disappointment, and it's a dream come true. Sometimes game press conferences are more exciting than the games they actually talk about in them. Or they can be worse, that's always an option. Live events have the fun quirk of possibly definitely going wrong, which either detracts or adds to the experience. It may make it incredibly annoying to watch or make it a blast, who knows? It's all a part of what makes a live event, and to me, various elements really make or break one. So first up, you have the opener. Normally these things start off with some kind of video playing, usually going over the legacy of the brand or just flashing fun lights. I give them my money! This is the appetizer. It gets you pumped up and reminds you why you should even consider giving a shit. Many times they'll count down and delicious looking numbers appear. The lights dim, an underpaid announcer starts talking over the loudspeaker, and then, oh no, the host. This is a constant with these presentations. Sometimes the host makes sense. They're a large figurehead of the company in question and is a great public speaker as well. Or they just put up a Craigslist personal. I prefer when the host has a direct connection to the gaming industry rather than a celebrity who says, I have loved games for my whole life. I played Pac-Man twice and own a Wii. Or you could just be the CEO of Google.
I'm actually not a big gamer, though I do play FIFA 19 quite a bit.
So here's how you host a gaming presentation. Either wear something or wear something with basketball shorts. So you walk out on stage and you have to wait for the applause to end. Hey. What? We might be here for a while. What? Welcome to the Video Games Press Conference. Are you ready to see some games? No matter how good the response is, it can always be better. Come on, are you ready to see some games? I never understand the purpose of asking for people to get louder with their applause. That just means it devalues the applause. If it happens, who cares anymore? If you say something you were expecting to get applause and it didn't, just stay silent until somebody says something. And we're not putting the reason in presentation. All right. Or if some jackass starts applauding after every sentence, pause every time to let him get it out. We make games. And yeah. And we yeah. Woo, yeah. And we love making yeah. And we love making Gotta talk with your hands a lot and either act intimidating or act like you're just an average video game fan. Wow. I can't wait to play that video game in my jeans and shirt just like all of you. The host isn't integral to the presentation being good or bad, but they definitely are the face in the headlines if it stinks up the place. Ubisoft couldn't make up their mind for years when it came to hosts until they settled on Alicia Tyler as host for their E3 press conferences. She was alright. While having a celebrity host your conference means you may get more press and they know how to deliver lines well, the problem is a lot of what they say comes off as not genuine. I'm not going to doubt a lot of these celebrities enjoy a video game or two, but do you really think Joel McHale cared about what Ubisoft had cooking at E3 2010? Now, the big guys from the companies, they may not be as good at speaking, but you know they care immensely because how well the press conference turns out directly impacts how much money they'll make. But sometimes you get the perfect human being, somebody who's passionate about games and is good at public speaking. That's what I want out of a gaming press conference host. But if the host isn't into games, don't try to hide it. Yeah, when Google got into gaming with Stadia and the CEO said, yeah, I'm not into games. Well, first off, why are you here? But at least he was honest. When you have hosts that look like they belong on QVC saying, me personally, I can't wait to play Dragon Quest IX Sentinels of the Starry Skies. Next up is another game I'm looking forward to, My Stop Smoking Coach. You just can't take him seriously. It feels like you're getting talked down to when it's somebody hosting that doesn't really get the audience of people watching gaming press conferences. But then you have the funny hosts.
To really take in how much time 25 years is, let's go back in time, shall we? Doodle, doodle, doodle.
I can squeeze in laughing about that in about 4 minutes. Very rarely does a host ever make a conference. A good host generally keeps things entertaining while not detracting attention away from the core of the presentation. But bad hosts, while not necessarily lethal to the reception of a conference, they don't usually help if the conference was already pretty mediocre. Now, the presentation of the whole thing, that is a big deal, and in the early 2000s, they did the unthinkable PowerPoint presentations. Nothing makes me want to buy a video game more than cube transitions. As you can see here, I bought Microsoft Office. So many early presentations were done in like a hotel or something. Look at this. As time went on though, the stages got more and more elaborate. Have you seen Nintendo's E3 2011 showing? Did they just have a bunch of oddly shaped monitors in the closet? Of course, focusing on the presentation brought way for eye-catching moments like laser tag battles, fun dancing, a whole car, smoke, more fun dancing, an entire celebrity, dancing, color and lights, a lack of my patience, choreography, dancing. See, they keep thinking that having dance sequences during your press conferences is gonna make people think, do you know what I'm in? I hate video games, but I love dancing, I'll bite. I don't understand the purpose of these moments as the people who actually like this kind of stuff aren't the people watching a Ubisoft press conference. Dance numbers happen so frequently during these conferences that they don't even help a presentation stick out. All it does is help me get a bingo. Like, what do these companies think footage of the dances will go viral? Mom will see that on Facebook and go, you know, I should watch the entire Microsoft press conference and see what this is all about. Ooh, Fable the Journey? Now, some of the presentation touches I do like is the addition of an orchestra. Nintendo and Sony have done this and it makes the event so much grander. The lighting and camera work being done in synchronization to what's going on, guest appearances that make some sense, and of course, technical difficulties. I love technical difficulties. Remember Nintendo's E3 2012 press conference and it ended with digital fireworks? I feel like confetti might have been planned for that. Oh man, this video's not playing. Looks like I'm just gonna stand here and say nothing. When planning these conferences, there's gotta be a plan B, C, and D, and if D fails, fucking run. Obviously, you have to have the live on-stage demonstration of a game being played, with trailers obviously being able to hyperbolize how good a game looks. Nothing sells you on a title more than somebody standing perfectly still playing a game on a TV on the ground. They get video game players. Anybody else love playing Call of Duty like this? Buy the game. I was like the Epic Mickey demo guy from E3 2010. He's just so well dressed and kept having to redo the same section over and over again. If I ever become a live demo player, I can only dream of being that well dressed. Live demos normally go alright, but the ones everybody remembers always had technical problems. Skyward Sword, Uncharted 4. Weirdly enough, the games that made the worst impressions left the best impressions in my heart. What's the point of a live event if you don't have an audience that applauds absolutely everything you ever do? See, I feel like audiences were very easy to get not excited initially, then had genuine bursts of legitimate joy many times by the mid-2000s, and then we arrive at the current day where they will cheer at any person or dog on stage. Have you ever been to a school talent show and during every single song there's that one guy who tries to start the trend of clapping to the rhythm or shouting woo randomly to try and start a round of applause? Imagine if everybody was like that and we're at Bethesda's E3 2019 press conference.
He's back as the leader of the Dragon Guard, a group...
And then there's the pacing. See, I like when a press conference has some style, but my least favorite thing of all time is when they show off a long trailer and then they talk about what we just saw.
What you just saw?
You know, that's a great question. What did I just see? It just wastes so much time. Show, don't tell. We can easily understand what the trailer was all about. Now, you have to stand here and explain everything to us? I like when they show a game, show a game, show a game. No real time wasting, no bringing somebody on stage and pretending to like them. No filler, just game, game, game. Sony's E3 2016 was perfect. It just kept going from game reveal to game reveal. And maybe somebody would come out on stage to talk for a brief moment, but overall, the pacing was amazing. But oh man, Nintendo at E3 2015, let's talk about a game that we revealed 2 years ago that's coming out in a month and reveal no new information about it. Let's say, hey, we're putting out Hyrule Warriors on the 3DS and show footage from the trailer you're about to show. And then show the trailer. Let's show another trailer for something we revealed 2 months ago when we could have very easily revealed it at our E3 showcase to make this event so much more worthwhile. God, I wish I had the foresight to make Nintendo my yearbook quote. It pains me when during these events, companies go over things we already know about. Come on! But in the end, all of these things don't really matter if the games aren't there. The games showcased make the biggest difference. The way they're showcased matters greatly, but even if all of the previous elements were perfect, if the games didn't look good or weren't what everybody wanted, everything falls apart. The games give you a reason to want to watch these press conferences live. They give you something to look forward to, something to discuss, something to get excited over. Even if I'm not interested in playing a game, it's always fun to have another new game thrown into the conversation. But that begs the question, if the games are the one thing that truly matters the most with these live events, what's the point of renting out these big theaters, hiring celebrities, putting together these huge shows with scripts, tons of cameras, lighting, effects, all of that, when the quality of the games showcased is all this boils down to in the end? Why do I like these things? Live gaming press conferences have slowly been transitioning over to the digital event, a pre-recorded edited video broadcasted live that gives the exact same information but not on a stage. Nintendo was the first to initiate this move with their Nintendo Directs, and in 2013 they decided to forego a live press conference at E3 and instead chose to do a Nintendo Direct. People were pissed and then stopped caring. Sony started to do their own take on these pre-recorded events, and many other companies are trying as well. But Microsoft has been firm about keeping up with the live on-stage press conferences, and they consistently have the least to show during their events, damn it. The pre-recorded stuff is great, the pacing's good, there's less stuff that could go wrong. Many ask, what's the point of paying all that money to do a live press conference? And yeah, that's a good question, but I don't think they'll ever die out, because holding your own event, that shows how much you believe in your product, how your products have so much behind them that they deserve a stage to show them off. It reeks of importance, and while pre-recorded broadcasts are cheaper, easier, and less likely to annoy everybody with dance sequences or pacing issues, the live gaming press conferences will always play a role in giving games the spotlight they deserve. Also, they forever changed what the term press conference means. And I really gotta hand it to press conferences. They really sold me on really bad game. The trailers were great and there was a dance number on stage. So let's press start and see if it's any good. It's not.